Howdy y'all, and welcome back to I Am a Champion Paralympics Edition. So, the other day I posted a video where I was wearing a shirt that said, "You're never too cold for gold," and I equated it with never being too old for gold. Well, since then, in fact, pretty much the day after I posted that, I was able to watch a little bit more of the Paralympics thanks to a friend who has cable, and it was amazing. I got to watch Paralympic snowboard cross. And I don't know if you got to watch snowboard cross in the Olympics. But basically how it works is you have, in the Olympics, there are about 6 guys or gals that start at the same time, and they're both racing down the hill together. And whoever crosses the finish line first goes on to the next round or wins, depending on what level you're at. So in Paralympics edition, 2 snowboarders go down the hill at the same time. And the first one to the finish line either advances or wins if you're in the final pairing. So what was really cool while I was watching this the other night was, I think I mentioned about how they have figured out the mathematical equation. I'm sorry, the reason I say that so weird is because I jokingly refer to it as mathemagical all the time, and it's so hard to remember the real word. They have a mathematical equation when the race is timed to figure out the differences of the abilities and make it a fair race. Well, in snowboard cross, that'd be a little too difficult since they're all going down at the same time. So figuring out the different times would just be too tricky to figure out who crossed the finish line first, what category they were in, what percentage we should do as the calculation. It just would be too complicated. So instead, they have a system where the different races are run by the different categories of disability. So in the Olympics, you have the men's and then you have the women's. In the Paralympics, you have the different categories. And instead of having 2 gold medalists, 1 man and 1 woman, you have multiple different categories worth of gold medals. So the women have about 4 different gold medalists and the men have 4 different gold medalists approximately. I don't remember the exact amount. So each division of disability gets their own race. Anyhow, the cool thing about this was, as I was watching it, I noticed something that is very different from the Olympics and Paralympics. And that, my friend, is that in the Olympics, every time somebody over about 29 would be competing, they would make a big deal about how old this person was. And frankly, as a 32-year-old, it was mildly offensive, or at least, maybe not offensive being the right word, but a little hurtful, to think that, oh my gosh, I feel so old. But in the Paralympics, that's actually more, at least in the medal standing for the snowboard cross, and seems to be the case in a lot of other sports that I've been able to catch up on as well, thanks to my friend. The average age seems to be closer to about mid to late 30s. There are people in the alpine skiing event in their 60s. And this is not rare. This is not weird for the Paralympics. It seems fairly common for most of the athletes to be around 30s and 40s. And they do really, really well. They get medals. And they're up against teenagers and young adults as well. It's not that they're the only ones in the field, but it just is the case that they're still competing. Now, a friend of mine asked me about this. I don't know if she really asked or just made an observation. I can't remember, but it was over text. And she said, wow, it's a really seems like to have a lot of longevity. And I thought about this, and there's a couple different reasons why this could be, in my opinion. Why is there more longevity in the Paralympic sports than you see in the Olympic sports? And one could say that maybe it's because in some people's eyes it's easier because things are slower. I don't think that's the case. See, to me, from what I've been watching, or at least reading while I've been enjoying this, a lot of these Olympians or Paralympians, they have disabilities that started in their teens, in their 20s. And so they started competing later. So, but they were athletic or strong before they had their injury. So they're getting started later in the Paralympic sports, but it's not that they've never been athletic. And two, now maybe this is just a guess, but from what I've seen from the disabled community, a lot of times there's so much adversity and so many different trials that you go through in life that you can kind of bounce back from things in a weird way better than people who have never gone through those things. And maybe that's part of it. Now, I could be wrong, but to me that would make some sense. Also, if they're like some of the OI patients that I know, osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle bone, that's what I have. I have type 1. Their ability to feel pain is different sometimes than the average person. So if that's the case for some of these contestants, especially with paralysis, you don't feel the pain in certain places, then competing wouldn't be as difficult for them as just daily life. Daily life is difficult. So I could be wrong, but those are my guesses as to why the longevity is better. And there again, proving my point that you're never too old for gold. You're never too old to achieve your dream. Am I saying that I think that everyone should just go out now and start learning how to ski so that they can be in the next Paralympics? No, if that's not your goal, if that's not your dream, if you don't feel that you are financially or physically able to do that, no. But maybe it's something else in your life that you feel like I'm beyond being able to achieve because of X, Y, and Z, and maybe there is an opening in your life right now that you can achieve that. That's all I'm saying. Just think about it. I'm not putting pressure on you. That's not my takeaway anyways. I just find it really cool as I'm watching this, and I love that I've been noticing a lot more people closer to my age and much older still really knocking it out of the park in the Olympics right now. So to all of those that are really bringing home the gold in amazing ways, congratulations to you all, and I've been having a blast being able to watch and read all about it. So yeah, I don't know how to end this except to say go out there and be a champion today. Thanks for watching. Bye.